evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of MC Square, the Monday Coffee Conversation. Got mine with me today. Hope you got yours. Let's get into it. Just got in a little while ago from ball practice and enjoying a nice cup of coffee while I speak to y'all. In practice, first off, it's no secret. I talk about it all the time on here. I love sports. So, being involved with them is something I really enjoy. And practice is just one of those things that we have to do. We practice, every day. And we do a lot of the same things over and over and over in repetition. It's not just like that in one sport. In basketball, you run the same plays. In football, you'll practice the same plays. Baseball, you'll practice the same motions and scenarios. And swimming, you'll run the same thing. It's all repetition. And that's why it's called practice. You practice, you do things over and over and over. And there's an old saying that I've heard all my life, and I'm sure most of you all have too, and it's practice makes perfect. And that's a lie. That's just not the way it is. I don't care if you shoot 1,000 free throws a day. There's never going to be a time when you can constantly just never miss one. I don't care if you take batting practice, 8 hours a day. Eventually, one of them balls is going to get by you no matter how much you practice. Swimming. Yeah, you may have set your own personal best time. And you may beat it again tomorrow, and you may beat it again tomorrow, but one day you're not going to beat your personal best time, no matter how many times you practice. So I saw a thing a while back that instead of practice makes perfect, practice makes progress. And I like that a lot better. See, we have to practice at the things that we do, or we won't get better. I forget the stat, but it's something like you have to do something 30,000 hours or 3,000. It was a lot of time before you're really a professional at it, where it's just like second nature, So even the pros in any sport or in anything, they still have to practice. Michael Jordan went to practice every day that they had it. He didn't just sit around, and even when there was a practice, official practice, he would be in the gym shooting ball, and he would shoot free throws and practice ball handling, and that's why he's the greatest to ever play the game, because he put it in there. But even Jordan wasn't perfect. He missed over 9,000 shots in his career. There's not a game or a series of games, maybe once occasionally, but where he never missed a shot. He scored 40 points a lot, but that's because he put up a lot of shots. A lot of them he missed. So even if somebody as great as Michael Jordan was at basketball, he wasn't perfect at basketball, because practice does not make perfect. It makes progress. I want to read a few verses for you from Romans 7 this evening. And we'll start with verse 18. Now these sound confusing as you're reading them. They do to me anyway. But I'll dumb it down because that's the way I can understand it when I get done reading it. It says, "For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good, I find not. For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do. Now if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. I find then a law, that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of God, after the inward man." What he's saying there in all those, what I would do, what I would not, and all that, the things I want to do, the good things that I know that are of Jesus, I don't always do those. And it's not me, it's the sin that's in me, but it's still fact. Wherever I am, evil is present and influences me to do those things. The saying the devil made me do it, we give the devil too much credit. The devil will talk us into doing things, but we usually agree to do it. We agree to sin. We sin willingly. Even though, as he says in those scriptures, we don't want to. And that takes me back to practice makes perfect. We can spend 20 hours a day in the Word of God and in prayer and in praise and worship, and we're still going to sin. We're still going to fall short. We're not going to be perfect. So that practice makes perfect goes to our spiritual walk as well. It's just not true. But practice makes progress. See, as we spend more time in the Word and more time in prayer, we get stronger in God. We develop a closer relationship with Christ. And those sins and those things that we don't want to do that we do anyway, sometimes, because of our relationship getting stronger with God, it's easier to say no. It's easier to be in control and not willingly sin. It's easier to walk the right path, not all the time because we're not perfect. We're not Jesus. But it's easy to walk the right path more often than not because we develop those things. Just like shooting free throws. You develop a form and you develop that muscle memory and it's over and over and you just keep practicing. You're going to miss some, but you're going to hit 80-90% of them. You're going to make those. So when we continue to practice the things that God has instructed us to do, reading His Word, getting to know Him, getting closer to Him, talking to Him through prayer, we're developing that. We're developing that just like that free throw shot. We're developing that relationship. We're developing that strength through Him. So yeah, we're going to fall. And we may not make it to 90% of doing all that He wants, or even 80%, but it will grow exponentially compared to when we didn't have Jesus. So though it's frustrating sometimes because we all face what Paul's talking about here. I get mad at myself. You idiot, big dummy. Why'd you do that? You shouldn't have done that. That God's not happy about that. And we do that. We'll get frustrated with ourselves when we mess up. But that's no reason to quit practicing. It's no reason to quit doing the things that God has instructed us to do. It's no reason to stop practicing all the things that help us get better with Him. Practice doesn't make perfect, but it will give us progress. And progress, another word for that, growth. And that's the best we can do here on this earth, is grow in our spiritual walk with Christ, grow in our relationship with Him, and grow in the things that we do for Him and through Him. Because we're never going to be perfect. You're not Jesus. I'm not Jesus. It don't matter how much time I spend on a court with a basketball, I ain't going to be Michael Jordan. Might get close, but I ain't going to be his airness, Air Mike, Air Jordan. I'll never be that, no matter how many hours I play. So no matter how many hours we live on this life for God, we're never going to be Jesus and be perfect. But we can get closer and closer to Him and live more and more like Him every day. We hope you guys enjoyed this. We hope it sticks. And we hope those moments when you feel like, they don't need me even doing this because I just can't keep from messing up. That this will come back to you and remind you. Practice never, ever makes perfect, but it does bring progress. We'll see you next time on MC Squared, the Monday Call Me Conversation.